Streaming on clickorlando.com and broadcasting live, you're watching News 6 at noon.
Now at noon, a plea deal has been reached for the woman charged in a deadly road rage shooting after almost a year of back and forth between state leaders. Plus, relief from Central Florida on the way to Jamaica after devastation from Hurricane Melissa. We start first with breaking news. A twist inside an Orange County courtroom today. The woman charged in a deadly road rage incident cut a plea deal. As we've reported, the charges against Tina Algeo caught Florida's Attorney General's attention. Last month, James Othmeyer weighed in, urging State Attorney Monique Worrell to drop the charges. He argued that Algeo acted in self-defense. But today, things took an abrupt turn. Your Orlando community correspondent Mike Valenti was inside that courtroom. And Mike, Algeo will be spending time behind bars.
Yeah, Julie, that's right. Good afternoon. Tina Algeo will report to the Department of Corrections on December 27th. That is when she is scheduled to begin her 18-month sentence. Originally charged with second-degree murder and aggravated battery in connection to the death of Mikhail Svetkov, Algeo pleaded no contest to the aggravated battery charge. The murder charge was dropped, and the judge adjudicated her guilty on that lesser charge. As we've reported, in December 2024, Algeo and Svetkov allegedly engaged in a road rage incident. Prosecutors say Algeo provoked Svetkov by ramming her vehicle into his. Video later appears to show Svetkov opening Algeo's car door and punching her, before prosecutors say Algeo shot him 6 seconds later. Last month, Attorney General James Othmeyer wrote Worrell a letter and posted a video on social media calling this a stand your ground case, arguing that Algeo's actions were justified. Now, although Worrell and Algeo's defense attorney, Mark O'Mara, have a different interpretation of the facts in this case, they do share a similar perspective on how the Attorney General comported himself.
I can tell you that I believe that the interference in this case was wholly and completely improper. You should not use your elected or appointed position to influence the impact of a case in the criminal legal system, particularly one that you do not have the information that's necessary to comment on.
I think it was horrific. I agree with Ms. Worrell in that sense. I think it was horrific. Beneficial to my client, maybe in some weird sense, but I don't think it's appropriate for any politician to get involved in the system.
So we alluded to the notion before that this caught us by surprise. That is because today's hearing was scheduled for a motion to dismiss, that motion filed by the defense attorney, Mark O'Mara, in this case. He was going to argue the stand your ground case, that his client, Tina Algeo, was acting in self-defense and that her actions were justified. Now, of course, we saw Algeo walk in very emotional with her family behind her, and minutes into her arrival, that was when the plea deal was announced. And though there is so much more to this case that we can't get into right now, but we will get into later tonight at News 6, so stick with us here and online at clickorlando.com. But for now, we're live outside the Orange County Courthouse. I'm your Orlando community correspondent, Mike Valenti, News 6.
Mike, thank you for that update. New at noon, we are now learning 4 people are hurt after a fiery crash in southern Orange County. This happened on West Weatherby Road at Sir Winston Way. Florida Highway Patrol says a 17-year-old boy driving a Nissan didn't stop at the intersection. He hit the side of an Infiniti, which then spun into a Chevrolet. That's when the cars caught on fire. 4 people were taken to the hospital, including the teen driver and a 9-month-old baby in the Infiniti. Their conditions have not been released. Turning now to your weather, let's take a live look outside from our camera in Daytona Beach. Looking really gorgeous out there. Not a cloud in the sky. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here. And Candace, that drier air is moving in behind that cold front that went through. So we're really starting to feel the effects.
I mean, the weather is just picture perfect outside. A bit breezy, though. Not ideal, though, if you're enjoying the beaches, as it's going to continue to stay pretty gusty throughout the day. Looking at those temperatures, notice all across central and northern Florida, we're in those 50s and 60s, still a touch warmer across South Florida. Some of that cold air is starting to make its way further south. Here's one more time where you take a live look outside Daytona Beach. The surf, though, is rough for today. Notice those wind gusts already clocking at 30 miles per hour as temperatures still in the mid 60s. You can see how strong the winds are coming in out of the northwest, gusting between 24, 25, even 30 miles per hour already at this hour. We could continue to see the even stronger wind gusts throughout the day. Now, temperatures out the door right now running those errands, grabbing some lunch, maybe take lunch outside or an extra long walk during your lunch break, as temperatures are still going to be in the 60s for the next couple of hours. But kind of widening out the view, look at the cold blast. Even colder air is expected to move into central Florida by tonight, and continuing into your Halloween forecast. We'll have more details on how low temperatures will go and what trick-or-treaters can expect when they're outside tomorrow.
Sounds good, Candace. Thank you. We are now getting a better look at the devastation in the Caribbean after being hit hard by Hurricane Melissa. The worst of it is in Jamaica, where entire communities have been wiped out. But now, Central Florida Attorney Dan Newland launched relief flights this morning, sending critical supplies to Jamaica. News 6's Angie Casada was inside his plane before takeoff, showing us how his team is turning compassion into action.
Newland's team plans on running multiple flights just like this one here on the tarmac, bringing aid and partnering with faith-based groups and local organizations to reach the most impacted areas. At Orlando International Airport, crews loaded up relief supplies into Dan Newland's private jet, filled with food, water, and medical aid headed to Jamaica. The attorney said his team could not sit by after seeing the destruction Hurricane Melissa left behind. He's partnering with reggae artist Shaggy.
So seeing these images and such, reached out to the hospitals in Kingston, Montego Bay, and found out what their needs were. And that's how we got started. Really working directly with the hospitals was Shaggy's most important objective. And so that's what we're doing now. We also got a lot of medicine that was donated by local physicians.
The Category 5 storm pummeled Jamaica with 185-mile-per-hour winds, leaving neighborhoods in ruins, entire communities cut off, and nearly 80% of the island without power. There's widespread flooding and mud-filled roads in St. Elizabeth Parish, where classrooms, homes, and historic buildings were flattened. Local leaders say hundreds of families remain in shelters, and relief crews are still struggling to clear major roads.
Historic buildings, churches, courthouse, the parish council, and all the heritage buildings have been destroyed.
I'm really happy to be out here helping out and knowing that collectively we're all making a difference. It's a way to remind people, like, there's a lot of people suffering like 3 hours from here, and we can all maybe find a way to chip in or do something cool to help them out.
Newland said his team is expected to be the first plane to land in Jamaica by late afternoon, and he's already working with other local businesses to gather more donations for additional relief flights. In Orlando, I'm Angie Casada, News 6.
A man accused of trying to shoot another man in Cocoa has been arrested. It happened Tuesday around 5:15 p.m. at the Sunoco on US 1 and Canaveral Groves Boulevard. The Brevard County Sheriff's Office says 23-year-old Cody McDevitt faces multiple charges, including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He made his first appearance before a judge this morning. Deputies say the victim fought with McDevitt after an argument. Deputies say as the victim headed back to his vehicle, McDevitt pulled out a gun and fired 3 shots at him. He is being held in the Brevard County Jail on a $35,000 bond. This is the second incident the Sunoco had in October. 2 weeks ago, the Brevard County Sheriff's Office says 53-year-old William Mullis briefly stole a car from the gas station. When he realized there was a 1-year-old baby in the back seat, he brought the car back. Mullis is facing charges of grand theft of a motor vehicle and kidnapping, confinement under 13. A judge denied him bond. In Volusia County, the school district has finalized a deal with the teachers union for a new contract. Several highlights of the agreement include the base teacher salary raised to $50,000, a 2% cost of living adjustment for instructional staff, and 2 days of paid bereavement. The district also says returning teachers will get pay supplements up to more than $5,000 depending on years of experience with Volusia County schools. Happening today, the end of an era in Brevard County as demolition officially gets underway on the old Rockledge Hospital. Orlando Health closed the facility back in April, saying making repairs would be too costly for the hospital. Demolition is expected to last about 8 weeks. Orlando Health said it plans to build a new hospital on the Space Coast, but still has not announced where or when construction would start. President Trump is on his way back to Washington, D.C. following his meeting with China's President Xi Jinping. President Trump called the sit-down between the two leaders, quote, amazing, and announced he is cutting U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods. CBS's Tina Kraus reports from London.
Following their first face-to-face meeting since 2019, President Trump called China's President Xi a great leader and said a trade deal could be signed, quote, pretty soon.
We have a deal. Now, every year we'll renegotiate the deal, but I think the deal will go on for a long time.
Trump says the U.S. is reducing tariffs on Chinese goods by 10% as China works to reduce the flow of illegal fentanyl.
He's going to work very hard on it. I think you're going to see some real action taken.
Trump says China also agreed to ease limits on exports of rare earth minerals and resume buying American soybeans, sales American farmers need.
Farmers all across the state have had a challenging year.
Trump says he plans to go to China in April for new trade talks, and Xi will come to the United States sometime after that. Ahead of talks with his Chinese counterpart, Trump appeared to signal a major reversal in U.S. policy, announcing on social media he's directed the Pentagon to restart nuclear weapons tests. It follows a missile test by North Korea, as well as recent nuclear-powered tests by Russia.
I see them testing. I say, well, if they're going to test, I guess we have to test. I'd like to see a denuclearization.
Before leaving South Korea, Trump also said he will allow that country, a rival of China's, to develop a nuclear-powered submarine in Philadelphia. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
We are getting a look at the devastating aftermath left by Hurricane Melissa in Jamaica. Now, one of Central Florida's longest-running attractions is lending a hand. Coming up, how Gatorland Global is helping people and animals affected by the storm. Here's a live look for you on this beautiful day from our Mount Dora cam. You're watching News 6 at noon. We'll be right back.
Introducing the new $25 million Gold Rush Multiplier Scratch-Off from the Florida Lottery.
After Hurricane Melissa wreaked havoc in Jamaica, one of Central Florida's oldest theme parks is stepping up. Gatorland Global is raising money to help both people and animals in need. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez is telling us how the nonprofit is providing emergency relief.
Gatorland Global has started an emergency relief fund to help the people and animals in need of a helping hand after this major storm. Last spring, Gatorland created a nonprofit.
So Gatorland Global is a 501c3 that works very hard with different communities throughout the world and also with animals throughout the world to try and protect, conserve, and educate about those animals.
Now Gatorland Global is helping people and critters hit hard by Hurricane Melissa.
Jamaica is very, very close to our heart.
Savannah Bone, the international ambassador for Gatorland Global, frequently visits Jamaica to work with the Holland Bay Crocodile Sanctuary in St. Thomas and the Hope Zoo in Kingston. To help both of them bounce back, the nonprofit has started an emergency relief fund.
So I know a lot of trees have come down, and I know a lot of fences have been compromised. So I know they're very busy right now building those fences back, getting those trees removed, getting the floodwaters out.
The money will support the zoo and the sanctuary by helping the animals and their caretakers.
Lots of families, you know, like if your dad or your mom works at the Hope Zoo, like your family, because you live around there, might have some needs that we might be able to meet, or we might be able to give you some money to help meet those needs.
100% of the proceeds will go directly to funding animal rescue and rehabilitation, enclosure and habitat repairs, and humanitarian aid.
Americans go to Jamaica all the time, and we have so much fun there, right? Like, we love the beaches, we love the people, we love the food. It's a good opportunity for us to give back to Jamaica.
Again, all proceeds go directly to help the sanctuary and the zoo and the people who are there taking care of the animals. We do have a link if you would like to donate over at this story at clickorlando.com. Reporting in Orlando, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
It is 12:16 on this gorgeous Thursday. This is a live look from our Launch Credit Union camera out there at Port Canaveral, and man, that is looking so pretty. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is here, and Candace, we have been waiting for this weather and the cooler blast we've been waiting for finally on its way.
Yeah, what is it? 6-7 months we've been waiting for temperatures to return like this, right? And for the next couple of days, it will be nice, mild temperatures. Now, highs both today and Halloween, our highs are going to struggle to hit those low 70s today. So the majority of us will be seeing those 60s through most of the afternoon. And then as we head into the evening, temperatures are going to drop, and they're going to drop way further than how we started off this morning. It always takes a little bit of time to get that cooler air settled in. So for tonight and Halloween night, it will be the chilliest with overnight lows down into those 40s and 50s. Now for Halloween, trick-or-treaters won't be dealing with those 40s because it won't be overnight. So around sunset or so, we will be pinpointing more of those kind of 50s and 60s. Still cool, no chocolate melting kind of weather in the forecast, unless the kids put it in their pockets, and then, you know, well then, that's another problem. We are watching still Hurricane Melissa. It's still going to be roughing up the seas. The combination of a big-time cold front that brought us the cold air, that strong breeze, and top of that, we're going to see Melissa also contribute to the roughing up of our surf. Latest sustained winds of 105 miles per hour. Expected to move closer towards Bermuda, not making landfall, but getting close late tonight, early tomorrow, with those wave heights for the next couple of days, upwards about 7 to 8 feet locally here. We do have a high risk of rip currents, small craft advisory, and during those high tides, we could be dealing with some minor beach erosion. Now outside right now, as you're grabbing some lunch, running those errands, the weather is just picture perfect. Tons of sunshine, barely a cloud in sight. Temperatures in the mid 60s across our inland zones. The only spot in the 70s right now is you guys in Titusville. You're always running a little warmer than everybody else. We're at 70. We're at 62 degrees in Palm Coast, but compared to 24 hours ago, we are right now between 3 and upwards of about 11 degrees colder this afternoon at the noon show than we were yesterday. So now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for your Thursday.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency, you ought to call Strata.
Our highs today, lows 70s, possibly up to about 72 degrees. It will be gusty like we've been experiencing all day today, between about 15 to 20 miles per hour. Now, our lows later on tonight, I told you they're going to tumble. This morning, we barely got into those 40s in our northern zones. As the 40s will be much more area-wide, north and west of I-4. Along the I-4 corridor, low 50s, mid 50s along the coastline. But let's talk about what everyone wants to know. What's the Halloween forecast? So if you're doing trunk or treats, maybe the kids are getting dressed up for early tomorrow morning, just make sure they have maybe an extra cozier layer, maybe a warm layer jacket or so, because it is going to be a chilly start in those 40s and 50s. By the treating time, they're the little trick-or-treaters. We're at 63 degrees in Orlando. Our northern zones could already be getting down into those 50s, so just do be aware of that. You can see we'll be down to about 56 degrees in Ocala, 58 degrees in Palm Coast. Again, sunset at about 6:40. Speaking of the time, don't forget that as you go to bed Saturday night into Sunday morning, the clocks don't change on their own, like the microwave and the oven or whatnot. You'll have to move those clocks back 1 hour. That does mean, though, we get that extra hour of sleep later on this weekend. So overall, fantastic news for the next couple of days.
It looks so good, Candace. Thank you. It may not be Taco Tuesday, but a warning this afternoon if you have taco kits in your pantry. Coming up, what may be in these kits instead of taco seasoning? And coming up on News 6 at 6.
I'm News 6 investigator Lewis Bolden. A Lake County couple says they are out of thousands of dollars after they hired a handyman who took off with their money and never did the work. Now the Lake County Sheriff's Department has issued a warrant for the man's arrest. We'll have the story tonight at 6 on News 6.
A recall alert this afternoon for some taco dinner kits because of a labeling issue. The FDA reports cocoa mix packets were accidentally placed into the boxes instead of taco seasoning. The cocoa mix contains milk and could affect you if you have allergies. The FDA says no illnesses have been reported so far. The affected products include Martin's and Giant Crunchy Taco Dinner Kit and Casa Mamita Soft Taco Dinner Kit. Florida is included in the more than 24 state recall. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I mean, look at this, right?
I love it.
Temperatures today, lows 70s. Could get even a little cooler on Friday. Some models showing temperatures might be a little bit cooler than 74 degrees. Trick-or-treaters, though, that is one thing that we're going to have to be paying attention to as temperatures be down into those 50s and 60s. Not so bad, but overall just a nice forecast even into your weekend.
Looks good. Candace, thank you.
Sure.
Switch over right now to the News 6 Plus streaming app to watch News 6 Extra. Have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.